Good afternoon, and welcome all students, staff, and family members to STEAM with two M's. This program is brought to you by the Urban League of Greater Pittsburgh in conjunction with Propel Schools. Today is the start of week 3, and we will be discussing disease and viruses and what they are and how do they work. This topic is very important due to the circumstances we are dealing with in today's new age of medical concerns. So what are diseases and how do you get a disease? Diseases are a disorder of a structure or function in humans, animals, or plants, especially ones that causes specific signs, symptoms, or illnesses. So what causes disease? Diseases happen when bacteria invades a human body and messes with it in such a way a body begins to malfunction. Diseases can be hereditary, meaning that they can be passed down from one generation to the next. For example, diabetes, sickle cell anemia, Down syndrome, and many more. So what are bacteria? Bacteria are tiny organisms that are everywhere around us. They're made up of just one cell and no nucleus. This is what makes bacteria different from most other cell types. They are more like plant cells than human cells. Just like you are different from any other student. We are all similar. We have similar hands, feet, mouths, but they are still different. Bacteria is found naturally around us, on our hands, in our bodies, on our mouth, on our clothes. They're just everywhere. They come in many shapes and sizes.
Students, my name is Winfred. I'm the Director of Information Technology for the Urban League of Greater Pittsburgh. But sometimes, unlike viruses, there are good bacteria. Inside your stomach, there is bacteria that actually take the food and the stuff that you eat and it make it usable, and it grinds it up, and then it sends it out of your body. It actually helps destroy the bad stuff in your body as well. And you also have bacteria that help produce items like cheese. It actually goes in and it actually take the cheese and it start to make it a little bit different. It transform it to something different from milk to cheese. So this bacteria can be good for you at times. We need bacteria for us to exist. Unlike viruses, I don't think there's any good viruses out there, especially COVID-19, which you have heard of so many times, how much is killing people. But bacteria can be good and bacteria can be bad. What do you think about that, Aaron?
Most of the bacteria are harmless. Some can cause diseases, especially when they are in the wrong place. For example, if you eat a hot dog that has harmful bacteria on it, then when it's in your stomach, it can cause a disease in your belly. They live in clusters. So bacteria lives in clusters, and they are often seen this way when viewing them underneath a microscope. Cluster means to be close together. Like previously stated, bacteria comes in a variety of shapes. The most common shapes of bacteria are called spirochete, meaning spiral. Just like the form of your DNA is a spiral, it's actually called a double helix. Bacille, meaning oval shape. Oval shapes are the size of eggs. Cocci, meaning circular shaped bacteria. But despite the shape, they contain the same elements. So no matter what your race is, say if you're Indian, Asian, or Hispanic, you still have the same elements of being a human being. So what type of bacteria causes disease? Bacteria that causes diseases are called pathogens. A colony of bacteria will line certain parts of your body. Now, colony means two or more individuals living in close connection with each other. Once there is enough of them, they can cause many types of eye infections, food poisonings, and pneumonia. Medicine was created to fight these pathogens, called antibiotics. Antibiotics can be in medicine that you swallow, but it can also be found in soap you wash your hands with. This is why it's so important that you wash your hands often. You never know what kind of bacteria you're carrying around. Here goes some fun facts to tease your brain. There are 10 times more bacteria cells than there is human cells in your body, which is very shocking that you think that there's more human cells, there's more bacteria cells in your body than human cells. Kind of creeps me out. Did you know that there are actually helpful bacteria? The bacteria used in foods are helpful. Foods like yogurts, pickles, and cheese. The bacteria used for cheese is used to convert sugars into lactic acid that fights off other harmful bacteria. Also preserving the food longer by adding helpful bacteria that fights off bad bacteria, therefore prolonging the shelf life of the product. Decomposers. They break down dead materials from plants, animals, so that it can be used as nutrients in the soil for plants we grow and the trees that help us breathe.
You know what, Aaron, is that this is a study of disease, bacteria, viruses. Now, how would you like to actually put more time and effort into it and make this a lifelong research for you, a path where you can actually focus on bacteria, viruses? Is a great study that you can pursue for your life career. We want to give you a food for thought, that you can look into it, that you can investigate, that you can think about, but maybe this may be something that you want to study when you get into high school, when you get into college, and even become a research specialist, a doctor, or even a lawyer in these particular areas. So think about all the good things that you can give back to our country. Think about all the good things you can do and develop a family, and also how you can pursue your lifelong dream by being a doctor, being a nurse, being a research specialist, and being a person that will help this country, fight bacteria and viruses. Just think about all the things that go into this. And when you move on to high school and when you move on to college, maybe this is something that you are interested in to make it your lifelong business. So just think about this. This is another study that is very beneficial for you and also for our country.
Thank you, Mr. Winford. Rhizobium is a bacteria found in the soil that lives in the roots of the plants that can help give nitrogen to the plants they need to grow. Nitrogen is a colorless, odorless, unreactive gas that forms about 78% of the Earth's atmosphere. They can fight, bacteria can be very helpful too. They can help us fight off other pathogens. There are bacteria in our stomachs that help fight off bacteria from foods we ingest every day. These bacteria are in constant contact with the human body. So what are viruses, or what is a virus? A virus is a small parasite, so small that you cannot see this with the human eye, that can cause infection in other living organisms by making small copies of itself inside of the host cell. So what is a parasite? A parasite is an organism that lives in or on another living organism that thrives off their nutrients. Viruses need host cells to survive in order to live. Now, survive is meaning to continue to live. So that's what the parasite are doing when they latch on to the host cell or a host body or organism. Let's watch a short video on viruses and how they work. so you can get a better understanding of what they are.
Hey, friend. I'm not feeling too well today. I think I have a cold. Achoo! Well, I guess it's a good time to tell you about what causes cold and many other such diseases. Sorry. And that's why we'll talk about virus. Human. You know that a bacterium is a very tiny organism, right? Well, a virus is so small that it's invisible to even a bacterium. This is how it is able to infect the tiny bacterium and the cells in our bodies. Unlike the bacterium, the virus has no cytoplasm or a nucleus or anything resembling a cell. It has a very basic structure of the DNA covered by an outer protein shell and some fats. That's why viruses can't even be considered organisms at all. They are not actually living. They float around like debris in space, waiting to contact a host. And only once they enter a host can they reproduce. This is where the true terror of viruses is seen. Once inside, these little fellas hijack the cells of the organism by entering through the cell membrane. Once they do, the virus takes over the protein-building structures of the host cell and forces them to replicate the virus instead. The poor cell unknowingly begins manufacturing an army of the virus till the entire cell is infected. This poor mindless slave cell does this till it explodes, releasing all the virus to infect the nearby cells, and that's how an infection spreads. That's why I got sick. But don't worry, your bodies are super smart when it comes to saving you. Every time we fall ill with a virus, the body makes a special cell called a memory cell. This cell stores all the information about the virus and how it was defeated, so that the next time the virus attacks, your body's defense is ready to destroy it. Trivia time! Did you know that even antibiotics don't work on viruses? Because antibiotics are designed to fight bacteria. In your body, the most common viruses are actually bacteriophages that infect and destroy bacteria. Oh, achoo! I think I have a cold again. Well, kids, before I go, what's the common virus in our body that destroys bacteria? Oh, and here's hoping I feel better soon, so that I can keep bringing you so much fun and interesting facts. Until next time, this is me zooming out. Oh no.
So how was the video? What did you learn? Tell me something in the comments below that you learned from the video. Wasn't that video cool? Remember when he discussed once a virus makes enough copy of itself, it will expel from the cell to spread to the rest of the body? Expel meaning to spread. So what are viral infections? The chicken pox, a viral infection caused by another viral infection. Has anybody ever had chicken pox? Influenza, the fancy word for the flu. This is a viral infection of the respiratory tract system. COVID-19, viral infection that lines the mucous membranes of the nose and throat and eyes. And the common cold, a viral infection caused by colonization of the nose and throat. Viruses needs to be able to invade our body's response, so they hide within our cells. Thank you all for listening and paying attention and also interacting with me during this lecture. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact me at agarrett@ulpgh.org. I already have 2 members signed up so they can receive supplies so they can go do the experiments from week 1, week 2, and week 3. If you would like to get supplies for the experiments, please contact Dr. Rosemary Anderson at randerson@propelschools.org. See you tomorrow, where we will do another experiment on bacteria that follows this lecture. Thanks.